Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
Jean-Philippe, Mr. Kick Down the Corner Flag Mateta. That is the latest name to be linked to Man United. Joshua Zirkzee potentially on his way out. Let's be honest, he probably will leave. And apparently it's a one in, one out. Apparently if an attacker leaves, we need another attacker. Should it come in the form of Jean-Philippe Mateta? Is this one where Man United have kind of missed the boat and it's like a typical Man United trying to go back in for him now when maybe the Mateta hype has passed? Or is it typical Man United fans sneering and turning their nose up at somebody who's better than the strikers they've already got? I'll be honest with you, because a lot of you lot say in these intros, why don't you give your, what are you saying? I'm not going to lie. Mateta is an upgrade. Mateta is better than Sesko. He is. He is. Whether the ceiling is, that's different. What they're going to be in 5 years, different ages. Right now, today, if we had a game with Mateta up front, or Sesko up front, or Zirkzee up front, Mateta would be the best player to have. However, I'm not so sure that he's the guy to invest into long term. But we're in the short term, so I would have him. I would have him. At the right price, I would have him. That's my final. With the strikers I've got and Sesko taking time and being raw, how can I say no? If it's Sesko, if it's Zirkzee for Mateta, do it. But let me know what the price is. Also, let me know what you lot are saying in the comments. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Jean-Philippe Mateta. We have to discuss that. Ruben Amorim has been backed. We have to discuss that as well. And of course, it's the lead up to Leeds versus Man United. And Leeds got a good point last night at Liverpool. Leeds are playing very well. Leeds are very adaptable. Leeds rested players so that they're fresh for the weekend because they've got obviously not that much turnaround. We've got a couple of days more turnaround than them. So, you know that thing you asked me yesterday, Owen? Yeah, but you know that thing. I watched Leeds last night. Very organised. Gave a good account of themselves. Rested players. I'm back to the flip-flop, back the other way. We ain't winning at Ellen Road.
It's time for flex to flip-flop. Spinning round like a spinning top.
Yeah. Rested players for us, mate. So, you know.
When you said about Jean-Philippe Mateta, Flex, you said just do it. You said just do it. You know, you said you weren't sure, but just do it. I'll tell you something else you can do. I can tell you something else you can do. You can get optimized in this January transfer window. Oh, roll video.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA, and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings, and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover, and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. Two of our own. Owen lost over 100 pounds in 10 months, and KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds, and Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds, and Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
Yes, let's get to work indeed. You can scan that QR code right there. And you can subscribe and save up to 70% your first order. You can get your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals. You can get your Optimum Night, which is good for your restorative sleep, a brand new and improved formula. You can get them individually or combined, any which way you please. And you can get Optimized today. Just like maybe Manchester United's attack could get optimized today. maybe signing Jean-Philippe Mateta. Indeed, Flex. It was yes, it was an interesting night last night. Interesting evening. I was in court. I was judge.
Yes.
Prosecution, defense, a bit of everything.
Has the prosecution rest?
Court's adjourned. Court's adjourned. We didn't reach a verdict. We've left that to the comments. And what I will say actually about that, it looks like James is going to be getting a not guilty verdict. There was a lot of not guilties in the comments. What is quite funny though as well is that we got to the end of the show and we kind of realized we're not really sure what he's been charged with. We're not totally. It was more just sort of highlighting what people had been said about him on social media. But it was a lot of fun. And I tell you,
shout out to everyone in the comments as well. By the way, everyone who enjoyed it, saying they love the setup. You know, no rants, just facts. You know, this is exactly what we need. You know, people just enjoyed it.
Was a lot of debate, you know, and a lot of standing on opinions, concessions, but no, going to stand on that one as well. It was an interesting one. So indeed, go and check that out already, Flex. Before we even get in to the Mateta stuff, we've got a couple of super chats and members chats. Amanor has been a member for 35 months. Says, "Happy New Year! Please, can we sign Glasner so we can get Wharton, Gahey, and Mateta?" Just going to become Crystal Palace, aren't we?
We'll sign him and get all three of them as well.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
And I remember a time in which, you know, signing a manager then signing players from where he used to manage was a bad thing. It says, Owen, please could you speak to KG about changing my Marmite forfeit? Thanks.
You still ain't done that yet, mate. Just
No. Is it? I still stand by. I don't think that's that bad. I mean,
Marmite
nice. I don't like.
It's disgusting.
I don't like it. Yeah,
it's awful. But
a teaspoon of it.
I could have a spoonful of it.
Yeah, that's
absolutely much awful.
Much rather that than like, you know, hot chip or cinnamon challenge or anything like that. Definitely. Amanor also says, UV New Year resolution, start the show on time, please. Well, look, Amanor, I was here. Flex not being the allegations, Flex not being the allegations.
I'll tell you what then, if people vote enough for it, we'll start at 9 bang on going forward.
Should they have to vote?
No.
Be on time.
It's just something we do, just, you know, let everyone get comfortable, get their feet under the carpet, feet under the rug, feet under the, what is it? Feet under the mat, under the rug?
Under the table?
Under the table. Get the feet under the table, you know, get your breakfast, get your tea sorted, but we just kind of started just being the five.
Hey, you've heard it here from the boss himself. If you vote for it, we'll be on time.
Yeah.
We'll be on time.
Or tomorrow we'll just start at 9. Well, not tomorrow, Monday, sorry.
Well, tomorrow we're not here. Yeah. But Flex, Mateta, it is the transfer view. Drama, breaking news, all that fun stuff. Mateta, Manchester United could be in the market for a striker in this January transfer window because Joshua Zirkzee may be on his way out. Sully did mention this yesterday or the day before in his post about Zirkzee, that if Zirkzee goes, the expectation is that United will bring in a striker. Now, one of those names being linked to United is Mateta. This was reported by Sky Sports yesterday, saying that Manchester United have a long-term interest in Crystal Palace striker Jean-Philippe Mateta, although the club are not actively looking to sign a new striker in this window. He may be someone they more seriously look at if he becomes available. Now, of course, he's still a key part of the Crystal Palace team, but he will enter into the final year of his contract in July. And he had interest from a lot of clubs last summer as well. Sky Sports reported previously that Palace was actually turning down bids of up to £50 million for Mateta from Champions League clubs in the last transfer window. But of course, value would have gone down as his contract continues to wind down as well. There was also a late inquiry reportedly from Spurs towards the end of the window, but instead they ended up going with Randall Kolo Muani instead. Atalanta, AC Milan, Juventus, several other Premier League clubs have also been linked with a move for Mateta. It had been reported by Sky and a lot of other different outlets, to be fair, that United's primary focus in the next summer window is a new defensive midfielder, or well, in general, midfielder. I don't even know if you could really say defensive, but midfielder.
Yeah,
midfielder. Yes, maybe more than just one. But this Mateta one, I mean, you kind of gave your opinion on that in the intro, Flex, saying do it. I thought it was quite interesting that going Mateta's better than Šeško right now.
I'd say he is, yeah.
I mean, in terms of what they've, and in terms of
7 goals already this season, Mateta.
In terms of Premier League sample size, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, Mateta, it's difficult comparison because Mateta's, how old is he? 28, 29?
28, yeah.
Yeah. You would be expecting more consistency from him, wouldn't you? You'd be expecting more hitting the ground running. But I would probably
Mateta's better than Sesko right now.
I would probably agree with that, but I would also say that he probably should be better than him.
100%, which is why we take him.
You know what I mean?
And look, you get a young, you get an old. Perfect.
I'm a fan of Mateta. I've mentioned this before. I mentioned it last season, last summer, when I was like, bring him in. And it might have been last January. I forget when I first started bringing it up, saying, get him in. And naturally, as we do as United fans, we come up with 10 million reasons not to sign a player. So Mateta from Crystal Palace. Oh, I don't know about that. Has a good half of the season. Then it's like, maybe we bring in Mateta. There is something, I suppose, a little bit concerning about we just signed 3 attackers in the summer. One of our first signings in January could be another attacker. And then that will lead to the discussions again, like with the wing back thing, with going, look, we're signing these positions and not the midfielder. But it's one of those ones where, like they say in the report, if he becomes available, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice not to go after him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What he could bring to the team.
I think there's a different way of looking at it, because like you said, the instant thing is, for God's sake, we need wing backs, we need centre mids. Why are we not just get rid of Xerxes? But what we're still seeing is that we still have never, all right, and it's gone under the radar a little bit because we've been doing different formations, different players. Amorim's coming. We still have not been set up where what happened to us wanting that younger striker to get better with versus the guy who knows what to do now. When have we still have, when it was the Harry Kane thing, remember, with Rasmus, or remember he's too old, no sell on value, all of the things that we said about I say we, a lot of people said, you go and get Højlund, then you go, right, but he's a young striker all by himself. We need to go get someone to help him. We come back with Joshua Xerxes to help Rasmus Højlund, who was not a striker or not one that's, conducive to what we want to be doing, by his own admission, want to drop off the front, want to get touches, and he's young and inexperienced as well. Then we get rid of Rasmus Højlund, and then we get another young striker in Benjamin Sesko. And then we're still in the same place where we go, well, he's a bit raw, isn't it? He needs time. And then guess what? We go, well, he needs time. So if we want to take him out the team to build, or he gets injured, who are we going to rely on?
Striker.
We got no striker. Or it's like you said, it's been Cunha up front, which we haven't really liked that. Let's be honest, okay? We're having discussions about him just getting.
And then we criticize Cunha, going, "Yeah, I don't know about Cunha." Go, well, he's playing in the right position.
So if you strip back all the noise of like, why are you getting this? I'll tell you why we're getting it. Joshua Xerxes is not seen as a 10. We've got enough 10s. Whether that's 4-2-3-1 and we're only going to play 1-10, or 4-3-3 and we're only going to play 1-10. Whether that's 3-4-3 and we play 2 10s. We've got 10s coming out of our backside, okay? We got 10s. We got Cunha, we got Mbeumo, we got Mount. If you want, you've got Bruno. If you want, you've got Kobe. That's 5. Where Xerxes weren't getting a sniff in the 10 positions. So it does make sense that if you let him go, you do actually get somebody that is a striker. So then you've got 2 strikers. Then you've sorted that, because that's what's, again, in January, that's what's available. And that's just the first bit of, we're still talking about Ruben Neves. There's been some talks about James Garner. Maybe Angelo Stiller's name. You still might get a Conor Gallagher, whoever. You can still do that. But I don't think you can say it's a bad. If we had Mateta in our squad now, obviously money-wise, yes. We were going to Leeds tomorrow. And you've been looking at how Sesko's been playing. We've all seen it. The ups and the downs, the good, the bad, the naive, the raw. And you go, it's between him and Mateta. I'm starting Mateta up front all day. That doesn't mean I think Sesko's shit. Doesn't mean I think we should sell him. It doesn't mean I think, what a dud and all of this stuff. It's back to the point of, we've got a young striker finding his feet with no help. So get a guy who can look after himself, 28 years of age. Mateta scored 7 goals already this season. Last year, he scored 16. Season before that, he scored 14. So you're not getting a worldy 20-goal man, and you're getting that sort of stabilizer for the next 18 to 2 years. And And then again, when you're being serious, you move Mateta on when he's 30, 31. And then you go, right, thanks for your services during this period. We're now going to the big boys. Now we're setting Champions League. We have to squad build. So,
no, yeah.
If the price is right, if this is like 60 million, then obviously not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do think it'd be difficult to get him in January when Glasner's moaning about stuff and they're trying to build to get a bigger squad just to see it through. Just got Brennan Johnson. Here we go. So I don't think we'll be able to get him anyway. But if the price was right, I would do it.
I obviously, like I said before, I'm a fan of Mateta. I think that if United can do a bit of business in January, which was loan with an obligation, strong obligation, no wiggle room obligation, to get rid of Xerxes, and then you can transform that money into bringing in Mateta, then I think that's a good bit of business. I think you raise a really good point in that Xerxes signing. Not so much on him, but in terms of the profiling, actually could go down as some of the worst business in recent Man United memory of like, all right, we've got a striker. Let's go bring in another striker that isn't a striker. and we end up signing someone that openly states not really a striker, 9.5, not really that's kind of goal scorer. What did they think they were getting? Because they must have known that. Like
they should have ran Kev Hatchard.
Yeah, because I remember that video he did with Kev Hatchard, and he's like, he's not really quick, not super, he's tall, but not great in the air. He doesn't score loads of goals, but he's good, hold up play. And, he's that kind of, I think people thought he would maybe get like a Roberto Firmino because that's like a false nine, but he's not that. He's not going to press people like that. So you do sort of want to go, what did you think you were signing then? What was it? Because he isn't a player where you go like, right, okay, you swap out this striker and it's kind of like for like, but he'll get lots of goals. He's not that. And that's why you do feel a bit bad for Xerxes, because from day dot he has been misprofiled. And now in this team, you still don't really know where he's going to play. Sometimes he'll come in as that kind of false nine and you go, oh, okay, and should he be better off in the 10? So if you could sell Xerxes and then just bring in Mateta, who is much more of that sort of a striker that you would expect, that kind of more of a goal scorer, more of a focal point. You can play off a little bit more, not in a different way to Xerxes. Then I think that would benefit United. I think, like you say, the last season scores 14 goals in the Prem in 37 appearances. This season, he's already got 7 in 17, so he might even improve on the number from last season. It will be difficult to get because I think Palace at the moment are, after what happened with them in the summer with Europe, and they know I think a lot of changes coming for them in the summer. Glasner's probably going to go. Mateta might end up going in the summer. Wharton might go. They've lost Eze. They lost Elise in recent seasons. So there's a lot of turnover there. So they might just be waiting until, everything's been put off till the summer, which might make it difficult. But given he has got a year left, he might be one of those people that is actually, we can at least ask the question of Palace in January. And I again, wouldn't be against it. Wouldn't be against that. I know that would turn into standards on the floor, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But I do agree with you. I do think I think we put Mateta into that squad and it's an improvement.
It's an improvement. And if you're saying like,
and it's, and he, by the way, Mateta isn't like,
Mateta. Yes.
Yeah. And also Mateta is not that, it's not like we're going to be signing Erling Haaland. He's going to come in and he's going to be blitzing it and his finishing's great. He'll miss chances, but we've also got players that miss chances now.
Yeah. And I just think
it's just having someone that's a bit more ready. You know what I mean? It's having someone a bit more ready.
Presence. He could look after himself. He's got a neat touch. Yes, he can miss chances and be offside, and he's not. And yes, at this moment in time, you'd get rivals laughing at us and certain Man United fans going, "Fuck me, Mateta." It's 2025. Man United are signing Mateta. You used to be a big club. You get all of that, but again, you have to look at where you're moving now, and does it improve your squad and help you now? Does it help Benjamin Sesko? I believe yes. And ironically, you could say, how? By putting him on the bench. But letting him learn, letting him come in and out, letting him not have the pressure of being the main and only guy up front. Taking the pressure off Cunha to go, get out of a position that you're really favoured in and go up front. Play false nine, back to goal. Not really what you want to be doing. Cunha needs to be facing the goal, taking the ball on the half turn and getting at people. And it's an upgrade on Xerxes, because we have to remember also that as much as Joshua Xerxes isn't really a striker, this manager actually views him as a striker. He does. Anytime he plays him, apart from the monstrosity of a position, and he played him against Wolves the other day, he doesn't play him in the 10s. He only usually plays him up front, you know? And the only time he's really gone to Xerxes, like infamously I've said, is when there was injuries and he played him up front. All through the rest of the season, he was unused sub, and that when he was coming on, he was pretty much up front for a few minutes here and there. He doesn't rate him as a 10. So really, we're looking for a replacement striker. So, look, I just think that Mateta would give us something different. He would occupy defenses. He would be a different type of threat. He would score goals. He's not going to be a golden boot candidate. He's not going to be, prolific. But if you offered me that for the right price, would I? That is an upgrade from Joshua Xerxes to Mateta, and that's how you have to look at it. So if I said the window's going to close, and I know this is hypothetical, of course, because we don't know, and I don't think we'll get Xerxes, but Mateta. If I said that we got Mateta and we got Ruben Neves in this January, you go, well, you know what? That's probably the best you're going to get in this January. You know what I mean? It bolsters the squad. It helps us out. And then you get into the summer where you go strong. Because I'm not expecting miracles. Unless we sold someone big. What are we going to do this January? I know we tried to get that 30 odd, that 60 odd million that we were trying to spend on Semenyo. You could probably distribute that evenly between Mateta and Ruben Neves. Maybe
a little bit more.
Let's say Neves is 15 million and Mateta was quoted 50 million in the summer.
Well, they rejected offers of 50 million in the summer.
But now there's less on his contract, and he's you know what I mean, and it's halfway through the season, so it could be around 50
Palace,
again.
They get their money, don't they?
How long has he got left on his deal? What's realistic?
It's a year in July. It's a year in July he's got left.
So he's got basically what with a plus.
Everybody, we're the same club that paid 55 plus 5 for Mason Mount with a year left on his contract.
Yeah, well. But that's what I'm saying. So even if it's around 50, what I'm saying is that 65 is near enough. You could get both.
Yeah,
you can get both. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I agree with you in the sense of if that was the United's January window, we got Ruben Neves and Mateta, I'd be like, that's probably, like you say, as good as you can probably do in January. And that's kind of been the whole point that we've been speaking about the last couple of weeks, isn't it? Of we do have to manage our expectations as to what is actually possible in the January transfer window. Obviously, we're looking at your Adam Whartons or your Elliot Andersons and other big names in the summer. But it's much more possible to get those big names in the summer. In January, always say it, there is a select pool of people available, and some can turn out to be sort of hidden, uncovered gems. We go, wow, that was a great sign. And a January sign, that's brilliant. But only rarely do those sort of big names go in January. It is possible. Obviously, people will say, well, Bruno, we got Bruno in January. Yeah, it is possible, but it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. And I think Mateta and Neves would be good. And for but we're Man United. Look how far we've fallen. Well, yes, it's 2026. Look how much Man United have fallen. I think maybe that should be a New Year's resolution for all of us, is get our minds out of the past. And actually, for all of Sir Alex would never. For Mateta, Sir Alex probably would. He'd look at one of the better strikers in the Prem and go, yeah, I'll sign him. Yeah, of course he would. That's what Man United used to do all the time, is look within the league, who are the better players, let's see if we can sign them. Now, I know that was our sort of thing in the summer, wasn't it? Look at some of the better players in the league and Bumo, Cunha, sign them. And people say, how's that worked out for us? We don't really know at this point, do we? And this was kind of the debate that James and myself were having last night on Trafford Talk, in that, look at, this is what is so crazy. And this is why it's difficult where I'm at the moment. Well, I've mentioned so many times recently about not getting, too crashing out after every bad result, because we see last night, Liverpool drew with Leeds, and I know we got to play Leeds at the weekend.
And I was saying they're going to win all the games, isn't it? Even I was saying it. I was like, yeah.
Liverpool draw with Leeds. If we win at the weekend, right, we're level on points with Liverpool. Now, depending what, but the point. This is the. Let me land, Flex. Let me land. This is the point. Yeah, when it comes to all of this, is that I like when we lost against Everton, or like when we drew against West Ham, or like when we've had these against Bournemouth, whatever. They should those results should punish us more than they have. You know, we have found ourselves in this bizarre position where we keep fucking up, and yet it's not really hurting us as much as it should. You know, so and this is when I go back to your for yesterday. We're definitely not going to beat Leeds. We don't know that, do we? We don't. Not even like anything. Not in terms of like you can predict the future, but I mean in terms of I could go to Ellen Road, win, and we'd be like, oh yeah, I didn't see that one coming, but I didn't see us beating Liverpool or Crystal Palace this season when we went away from home recently, right? They're impossible to predict. Man United. Look at our recent form: win, draw, loss, win, draw. It's literally the definition of inconsistency. So that's why when going back to the signings of the Premier League proven players, what's that done for you? There's not going to be well, it has improved us. Like it has, because we are better off than we were previously. But the problem is it's difficult to compare to previous because last year's previous shouldn't even really be compared to it because it's a complete outlier. It's completely, shit. Anything's better than 15th. So I think he would have, long story there. I think he would improve us. I think it would certainly make our squad better. And I don't know. I just don't know with Man United. That's what last night when we really honestly Flex, when we're getting really into the weeds of it, I kind of sort of was like, I know less than I did going into this now.
Yeah, because people can push back and say, mate, I'll tell you what I know. I know that this ain't sustainable. I know this manager ain't the guy. I know we're not going anywhere. Don't kid yourself.
Well, actually, that's a good segue. Actually, that's a good segue for the Ruben discussion. Yeah, actually, that's a good segue for the Ruben discussion. Super chat from War Machine also says we are Manchester United. That's a hell no. So a hell no to Mateta. If you haven't already, click the like button. Where are we at in terms of likes? We're at 143. And we've got close to 800 people watching. We can get higher. We can get higher. So
let's raise that, please.
And there's a poll in the chat saying, would you take Mateta at United at the moment?
80%.
79%. Yeah, 79.8% saying they would. Indeed. Right. So we were easily transitioning into a Ruben discussion there.
Yes.
So Fabrizio Romano said last night on his YouTube video, Manchester United remain supporting and backing Ruben Amorim. There are no plans to anything different at this stage. Not that there were any rumors that there were. You know what I mean? This is what we've been saying after every game, after every negative result, certainly, that it's not going to change anything. Ruben's here for the season. If he was going to get sacked, he'd have been sacked a long time ago. And this is where Ineos kind of are justified in a sense of they'll look at the Premier League table as of now and go, right, where are we? 6th, 3 points off 4th. And we're level on points with Chelsea in 5th, and 5th could get you a Champions League spot this season. Why would they sack Ruben Amorim today? They wouldn't, would they? There is no. As of today, as of things happening at the moment, there is no justifiable reason in their mind, particularly when it's been worse. But it's about, I think, once again, the conversation of, yes, that's today, but where are things going? We can't keep getting away with this. I mentioned earlier on about those dropping points, and we haven't really been punished for it. We dropped points, and even last night, Liverpool dropped points as well. So we haven't really been punished for it, yet we haven't taken advantage of it. We're in this weird purgatory where we don't take advantage of everyone else slipping up because we're also slipping up, but they're not taking advantage of our slipping up. You know what I mean? No one's taking advantage of anything. Everyone's just slipping up. And eventually someone has to not slip up, and then they're gonna fly away from everyone else. So I don't know. It's a really confusing time, isn't it? Particularly not so much of Ruben's future, because it's not confusing about him. Like as of right now, he's not going anywhere. End of the season, it'll be.
No, and look, we're going to talk more about this later on in the Trinity, right? But I do feel, just to give the other side of the coin, I agree. It's a bit weird to put that he's not going anywhere. But I'm just going to put the alternative way of thinking from Fabrizio. He's going off what the traffic is saying, essentially online. And online, I've seen like we knew would happen. There's going to be a lot of Man United fans that will talk about this Maresca thing as a point of even they're getting rid of him for that with 2 trophies and this, that, and the other. And we're not getting rid of Ruben, and he finished 15th with no trophies. But we'll talk, no spoilers, but since we're in this little mini segue, I will say this. The context is completely different. People are forgetting the term mutual consent. like people are forgetting, like, all these, it's getting actually quite nasty what's happening between them. They're putting out briefs saying he ain't got the mental fortitude and all this. Then there's briefs saying,
stability.
exactly, emotional stability. Then there's briefs, Maresca's going to back himself, little briefs coming out saying medical staff telling him what to do and who to take off. And this isn't, this is where the Ruben narrative, if you don't care about what's actually gone on, you use this to shape your Ruben narrative. And this is what I was talking about when he said the thing about the youngsters. Okay, and all the hate that comes to them. Because he's been shit since he's been here, because he's broke all the worst records and all of it looks like he's not going to be great for us, everything encapsulated with Ruben Amorim is a negative. Every single thing. So him getting sacked down the road through no, it wasn't a one-sided thing. He's gone, actually, this job, it's not even that great here. I'm off. Like, you know what? F this. Mutual. I'm even talking I'm letting them know I'm talking to City, mate. Like, I want that job. Like, there's a lot going on. It's not, people are trying to make it sound like Chelsea have got so much ambition that they've got this manager where there's nothing wrong. And they've just gone because their standards are so high and they're so great and they've built their squad so brilliantly. They've gone, yeah, he's good, but we want better. Let's sack him. That's not what's happened. So you can't use that to be like, they've got more ambition than us. He's lasted longer than Maresca. The context in which he's been sacked or he's left the football club is not the narrative that people are trying to spin to say they just sacked him and he really wanted to be at Chelsea, but the standards are so high. It's not good enough to be at Chelsea with a Conference League, currently 5th, and a Club World Cup. The standards are high. Unlike here, that's just bullshit. That's not what happened.
Yeah, I think it's like with anything, and this is where it gets messy, isn't it? Because it is a nuanced discussion, and the problem is nowadays there's no room for nuance. Because you're right, it's not really totally comparable because you have to get into expectations. Like what were the expectations of Enzo Maresca's Chelsea this season after they finished in the Champions League spot last season, won Europa Conference League, won the Club World Cup? The next step for them, I think, and the expectation was maybe not win the title, but be closer to pushing in that direction, challenging, much more comfortable top 4, maybe where Villa are at the moment, that kind of 3rd place team, maybe, or, something along those lines. Or maybe it was going to be, look, there's going to be Liverpool, Arsenal and City going after the title this season. Chelsea, can you be close to that kind of thing? And they're kind of not. And I think that's where it comes from. Ruben Amorim's expectation, I think, from Ineos, from United, and actually a lot of United fans, even myself, to be honest, at the beginning of the season was, can you just get back into Europe this season? Not even Champions League. Can you get into Europe? So Chelsea and Man United this season have totally different expectations, don't they? And as of today, this is why Ruben isn't going anywhere, because Ineos will look at the table. They'll go, we've budgeted for Europa League. As of right now, that's where we're at. We're in the Europa League spots. If the season ended today, that's where we would want to be. It's not maybe the right word, but that's where the expectation was. 15th to Europa League next season, maybe into Champions League or something like that. So that's the difference, isn't it? The difference is expectation. The difference is that. And as you said, then you get into the whole Maresca thing of why he left. It's not just results play a part, but also there's a fallout. There's the medical stuff. There's other jobs. There's, the chaos that is Chelsea, et cetera, So they're not really comparable. And I think that argument of, look at Chelsea, they're showing more ambition than us. You go, to me, that's a gross oversimplification of the situation there. And I don't think that does justice to, there's certainly an argument to be said of Ineos about where's your level of ambition, like last season or earlier this season when it was going shit. And because of last season, what we now accept is 6th place, and we should never be accepting that, and this, that, and the other. That's totally fair. But I think if you just look at the reality of it, they are just totally different situations.
And also, what we're beginning to do out of the hatred for Ruben is confuse Chelsea for showing intent versus a poorly run club to a certain extent, like a dereliction of duty. Like, if you ask, this, and the way this, is this isn't being celebrated widely across the Chelsea community.
No,
I dare you, go and watch the video. Go and watch, all the different Chelsea outlets video. They're going, what the fuck? You idiot. What are you doing? They're not happy about this. Yeah, there's a few that are like, if you ask Rory, he's always said the board is not good enough and neither is this manager. They all need to, there's that. But I get that. But this feeling that, Chelsea
But
fans.
no one's going like they're so well run. There's a load of ambition here. There is kind of like, what's your plan?
They're screwing. They're going, where's our centre backs? Look at this forward line you've assembled for us. Where's the progression from where we were with Poch? The only good players we've got are still the ones that were here when Poch was here. Who's the ones that you? What have you done? What are you doing? You're turning us into this cash cow, this cryptocurrency flip, this. Do you know what I'm saying? This NASDAQ club.
Haven't even got a front shirt sponsor.
Really, we've got exactly. So don't stop painting this thing out of hate for Ruben of like he's so dead. Like even say the real story. So I'm going to do a video on this as well, individually, but also we are going to be talking about this on later on today on the Trinity, because amongst other stuff, obviously Ruben's press conferences today as well. First one of 2026. There's a lot. I can't wait for the Trinity. Actually, a lot to get into. But yeah. Ruben Amorim backed. I'm not surprised. I never expected it to be any different because of this. I never expected Ineos to pivot. We spoke about it yesterday about the Man City connections, but for them to explore the connections, we got to be doing a hell of a lot worse than we are now, which I know that's not music to people's ears because people say how bad you need to get, but for all the reasons Owen's just broken it down as to why Ineos wouldn't do it, it's fairly clear.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I think you raise a really good point there with, you know, like you said, you might as well, because if you're dressing up the desire for Ruben to be sacked in, well, Chelsea are showing ambition and Chelsea are well run, then you are being a bit disingenuous there. Let's just say what it really is, and the reality, and what it really stems from is you don't think Ruben's good enough. You're not happy with the results. You're not happy with the performances. He needs to go. That is totally fine and totally justified. I'm pretty much in that camp anyway of like, I don't think it's working. I don't think it's been working for a long time. I don't think it's going to work. But I also don't have to justify that opinion by going, look at Chelsea. They're showing ambition. They're well run, because that's not true. It's not. They're not the model you should be aspiring to get to. No, I don't look at that. And that's why I asked yesterday. I said, well, when this Maresca thing has come out, does it put more pressure on Ruben? And probably, I think you answered at the time, probably not, because it's already there anyway. It's just another conversation, isn't it? It's just another conversation, which is that other clubs are sacking managers, so why aren't we sacking ours? Yeah. But really, again, you should then get into, well, let's not use Chelsea as an example, because I feel like with Chelsea, they go in and out of like popularity of like a club being well run. So, you know, sometimes in transfer markets, when they do this transfer madness and they get all these players in, I think fans get jealous, don't they? And they go like, oh, look at Chelsea. They're getting players. They are well run. And then you see all the stuff after the fact and you go, no, they're not. Then they're not well. It's chaos. Like, it's complete chaos. But then a transfer window comes again and we love transfers. We go, oh, they're really well run. You go, no, they're not. No, I mean, again, look at what Clear Lake have done during their time there. Or, yes, they won that Club World Cup over the summer, which I still stand by of like, who even knows how seriously people are taking that competition. But the first couple of years there, it was a fucking shambles at Chelsea, like total shambles.
And it still isn't far off it now. Look what's going on again.
No, with the money that they have spent and, you know, like you said, with hoarding players and people being still in exile and this, that, and the other, it's not that they're not the club to aspire to be.
Mate, what tells you everything is the money.
If you ask Chelsea fans, they are like, they're furious because they don't recognize that club. They're like,
what's happened to my club vibe? What have you done? You've ripped the soul out of it. Rory said to me the other day that they've changed the hoardings around the signage around the stadium to CFC London. Like, that's their branding. That's their kind of, you know, memo. Like, we're CFC London, you know. And, you know, someone like Rory, you know, he's very Chelsea. He's very the British traditions of the club and, you know, this, that, and the other. And, you know, they're trying to commercialize the club, Americanize the club in a way to kind of take those roots out of it and make it more commercial. He was talking about that. Listen, Chelsea fans know way more about it. I'm just saying what Rory said to me. I don't know how true it is or what, but he was saying that to me. And, you know, for all it, just take a second. If you really think that this is a measuring stick to beat Ruben with, Chelsea spending all that money and being so ambitious are at exactly the same point of the season we are. With this better squad that everyone says they've got. Because everyone, that's another thing. Well, actually, it depends who you talk to, actually. I've seen some people say, you know, like say that Chelsea is so great because they got this, they got Caicedo, they got James, they got this, they got that. But some other people go, no, but look at our squad. Ruben should be getting way more out of it. Our squad's actually better than theirs. They're rubbish. It depends who you talk to. Because I think James thinks like Chelsea are not that good. They ain't got the manager's not that good. You know what I mean?
This was one of the things that was brought up. Yeah, in the case last night. This was one of the things that's brought up in the case. So his perspective is that if Ruben Amorim had the players that Chelsea had, and he was doing the same as Maresca, then Amorim should be sacked. His point of view was that Chelsea have better players than us, and basically Amorim's getting more out of what he has versus Maresca, who wasn't getting enough out of what he has. Basically.
Can we explore that really quickly? Can we pause right there, just quickly? Let's talk about this. Do Chelsea have a better team than us?
His thing was like he was going because his point was we talk about United and we say basically we've got no midfield. We got no midfield at all. No midfield. Like our midfield shit. His point was, well, if Ruben Amorim had Moises Caicedo and Enzo Maresca, then Enzo Fernandez, then we fly up the table. But the problem is with that, I'm a bit like, well, that's when you get into if we had Kylian Mbappe, and if we had Erling Haaland, like where does that?
Yeah, but his point is we're just comparing.
Where does that end? But his point was the reason that he says he's got different energy for Maresca versus Amorim is he felt that Maresca was doing a terrible job at Chelsea because of the players and the resources that he had, and Amorim is doing a good job at United considering what he has and where we were previously.
Is the Chelsea? Sorry, is Chelsea's team better than ours? Was our team better than Chelsea? Right, we got a better goal. Lemons is better than
Sanchez? Yes,
Sanchez. We know that already.
No debate.
Let's just, I know we play back 3, back 5, but let's just go right backs or right wing backs. They've got Gusto and James.
Yeah, that's better than
We've got Dallo.
Anything fullbacks, we're going to lose.
Yeah. Kukurea, we're going to lose. Right? So they've got better fullbacks or wing backs than us, yeah? Centre backs, we've got better ones than them.
Yes. Well, they're still struggling to even find who their centre backs are going to be, aren't they?
Even Shaw's better than them, man. Shaw's better than Chalobah and that. But I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. Them type of man. Even Aiden Heaven, the way he's been playing, is like fucking better than Badia Shields and that. 100%. So we got, obviously, listen, Wolves, I get that, but we're on this. This is a team that is neck and neck on points. So this is actually the perfect.
Yeah, the problem is, if we do anything like that, then we might as well go Grimsby and then not even do it.
Exactly. So let's not do that. So that's quite even so far. We got a better defense than them, apart from the wing backs. We got a better goalkeeper. Midfield, we've got Bruno.
They have a better midfield.
But their whole midfield is better than us.
Yeah.
Andre Santos, Fernandez, Caicedo, even when Lavia's fit, which he's not that much, but you get the gist of it. Midfield way better. We got Ugarte, Casemiro, and Bruno. They're our midfielders. And Kobe, you don't as well. The attackers are interesting. Cunha's better than Garnacho. Millions by. I know the output, like we're looking for but as a player, I'm saying Cunha's better than him. Definitely.
Their wingers have got worse. It feels like, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Their wingers have got worse.
And Bremo is better than Neto and Gittins and all them, man, on the right.
Yeah.
Ahmad's better than all them guys. Definitely.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer is obviously probably the best out of all of those like 10s, right, whatever. Strikers. I mean, none of them have really lit it up, have they? Delap's been injured and looks like he ain't great. And then you go João Pedro versus Sesko. Now, João Pedro's been playing in this league for ages. We know him. He's done all right. He's not a high volume scorer. But
the striking situation, there's much of a muchness. I mean, to be fair, they've got Esteval, don't they? Now, does he get ahead of it? At this point, he probably doesn't get ahead. He doesn't get ahead of like Mbumo or Ahmad or anything like that. In a couple of years, Esteval, that might be a different. But in a couple of years, that might be a different.
Yeah, it might be different. But right now, he's not better.
He's going to be very, very good. He's going to be very, very good.
So the team's more even.
They're quite similar, really.
It's quite similar. There's not a lot in it.
It's reflected in the table. But then that's when it goes back to expectation. What was Chelsea's expectation this season after finishing in the Champions League positions, after winning the Europa Conference League, after winning the Club World Cup? Their expectation was, right, can you not win, but can you get closer to challenging for a Premier League title? For us, it was, can you get back near the European spots?
Exactly.
So that's really why Maresca's not in charge and Ruben is because it was never, you want to talk about showing ambition. United's, I think in their minds, showing ambition was, well, we've got to get back into Europe. You know, we can't. If we're aiming to win the Premier League this season, or even get into the Champions League spots comfortably, then we're setting ourselves up to fail because we're not going to be able to do that. Whereas I think for Chelsea, it was no, we need to see you challenging and see you competing more. And then Chelsea are now finding themselves in the table, like you said, looking at the table, going level on points with Man United. Man United aren't that. We shouldn't be near Man United.
Yeah, that's why when me and Matisse are having this, and we're doing DR remote today at 11:30 live. Check, get over there. Because
who's this Matisse? I thought I only recognized Liam Rosenior.
To be fair, Liam Rosenior.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wear my glasses on that stream as well to be like him. I want to look like him. He's got. We have to talk. I've been messaging him because I've tried to tell him many times, bro. You're not going anywhere fast. Stop trying to get involved in them big boy conversations. You're with us. Yeah, you're with us. So for me, I'm like, we have to just be careful because their squad, when you actually break it down, do you know what it is? It's because they've got the individuals that they've got that are good. You know, those 4 to 5, they're like quite exceptional players. We don't have a lot of exceptional players. I think that's what it is. When you look at Reece James, like he's arguably, along with Tim, wherever you want to get into the arguments, the best right back in the league, like exceptional footballer, can play in midfield, top player. If he gets his consistency right, like he's got world-class tendencies. Okay, Reece James. Yeah. Kukurea, as much as his hair bobs about and we don't really like him, he's annoying. He's a top left back.
Got him.
Nearly got him, and everyone was cussing them. It was between him and bloody Regulion.
Yeah.
But Kukurea is top, won the Euros, got the assist, and if like he does it in the Champions League. As much as people don't like his character, he's like wrap up. Heaven says they got standout ballers. Caicedo, top.
Their best players are like the best in that position, arguably in the league. You know what I mean? So it's like
definitely in the league and like top 5 in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like so when you talk about central midfielders, everyone's looking to get a Moises Caicedo. So he's one of the everyone's looking to get Cole Palmer. Yeah,
everyone wants to reach James. You want to Kukurea. So that makes it that what they lack in, like, it's kind of even. That probably pushes them higher because you go, well, it's kind of even, but then you've got that Stardust. You got these type of guys, and even Enzo, they try and put him in that bracket. I'm not having him. Yeah. I think he's overrated. But there are times where he's still a good player. Do you know what I'm saying? I just think he's overrated for the price they paid versus how good people actually say he is. But he's in the crop of what, as well as in the 5 that are the Magnus of the top 5 that they've got. So that pushes them higher than us in terms of the names. It's so true. They've got top 5 in Europe players / best in the Prem players. So I think their squad is probably better than us on that basis.
Well, they've certainly got a bigger, more in-depth squad as well. Yeah. Maybe that's the other part of it.
But then in depth, you look at the depth though. When you start getting into that's where they're shit. Because you're bringing in bad skills, you're bringing in
their recruitment, isn't it?
You're bringing in, Gittins, he's the depth. Garnacho's a bit of depth. Maybe Buonanotte's depth. They're shit. That's where they elapse depth. They're not good.
Or that you look at, but then I suppose you look at their bench in the last game. The fact that they can bring on Neto, Gittins, Andre Santos, João Pedro, Reece James. They got Tosin, like I said, Badashil, those on the bench. But at the same time, we look at our bench at the moment and we sort of go, so maybe that's where James's point is. With what Maresca has, he should probably be getting more as opposed to maybe Ruben, who there's an argument to be made. Maybe he is getting the most out of what he has.
But then I look at that.
But it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like that. But then you look at the table and you go, maybe he is.
I don't necessarily, because I think a lot of them players are bang average that we've just mentioned. Bang average. I think Chelsea are where they're meant to be. They ain't got a better
Chelsea
team
fans say that, don't they?
On paper.
They're cussing out the recruitment.
Yeah. They ain't got a better team than Liverpool. If Liverpool are doing what they're meant to do, they've just been champions. They ain't got a better team than Liverpool. They ain't got a better team than City. And they definitely don't have a better team than Arsenal. Even Villa, band for band, like 1 to 11.
I mean, even all the United fans that we said in the summer when they were signing Garnacho, of like, and even the Chelsea fans, to be fair, were like, I can't believe why we're signing him. And it's them now. They're going, oh, this guy's got no end product and just runs into blind alleys. But like, we could have told you that. We did tell you that. That's what he does. So Yeah, it's a very nuanced one, isn't it? But to go back to what Romano was saying, I did feel like he was just doing that update for the sake of doing an update, because I don't think was there any does anyone legitimately think there was any kind of debate on Ruben Amorim's future after that Wolves game? Seriously? Or in the days that followed, or like Ineos were going to now make this like real knee-jerk decision of, all right, now we're going to get rid of Ruben. And James said this last night on the Trinity, and to be fair, I do agree with what he's saying here. Is that because we're so far into it now? If Ineos made a change like tomorrow, or let's say say we lose against Leeds and they go, right, we're sacking Ruben, then you would look at Ineos and go, what the fuck are you doing? Like so now you're deciding to change it. You know, now you're starting like, at least at this point, stick with your word and see it out to the end of the season. You've come this far. Of all the times which you did legitimately have an opportunity to change, you're going to now pick maybe like one of the worst times to change it, like during the January transfer window where you should be focusing on transfers. And, you know, why didn't you do it at the end of last season? Why didn't you do it, you know, earlier on this season when it realized that nothing was really changing all that much? You've come this far. You might as well see it to the end of the season. He survived that Grimsby game. He survived, you know, the Europa League final, which are sackable offences. So you might as well stick with it. So I do agree with James at that point. Like if they did sack Ruben tomorrow or at the weekend after the Leeds game, I think you would look at Ineos and go, see, you've got no plan. And even that's something that is like debated heavily now, isn't it? Of actually, Ineos, what is your plan? Like, do you have a plan? And if they sacked Ruben tomorrow, I think you would go like, so what's your plan then?
Yeah.
What is your plan? So I think at the moment, I think the pressure is absolutely on Ineos. One, do something in this January transfer window, and two, like whatever decision you do make about Ruben Amorim, when you do make it, that's going to be, again, there's going to be scrutiny. It's a bit like the Dan Ashworth thing when they sacked him of going, right, so he brought him in. Remember you at the time was going, this isn't good because yes, all right, they maybe recognize they made a mistake and they rectified it, but that implies there isn't a lot of plan here.
It shows like a lot of knee-jerk pulling the trigger.
Chaos. There is chaos.
Exactly. Big up to Z. I see you, Z. We don't duck. I'm not going to duck. Please bring up the Spurs question for me about me saying they've got a better squad. If I said that, I can't remember saying that. If I said that, 100% wrong. 100% wrong on that. If I said that.
Take him to court. Take him to court. Yes.
Take him to court.
Yes, there you go. Judge Hohen returns. Yes, Judge Hohen returns. Yes. Court is open. Well, I do need to get a wig. I didn't have a judge's robe, so I had to put a black bed sheet around me last.
That was good. Those glasses are proper judge glasses as well. Yeah,
they've got these glasses. These are.
And wear them a little bit down.
I read them a little bit down, Flex, because I can't see in them. Like they're like, if I do that, I mean, this is a blur. I cannot see.
They looked. Wait, because they look too close to the bot. Like,
okay, if I
always got to go and try for them glasses. When you put them on,
they're not mine.
Yeah. Fucking bro, what the hell? What is?
And
this?
then I was getting some shit afterwards. They're like, "Oh, you were too soft on James." I was like, "Soft, man, I couldn't see. I was blind during the whole thing. I could barely read. By the end of it, I was like, I was gonna have a migraine. I was honestly."
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah,
that is funny. But what was I saying? Yes, back to what you were saying.
Oh, the Spurs squad. Yeah.
You were. If I said that, absolutely. Clearly, I was wrong. I don't remember saying that though. I do remember. I will admit this one. I do remember giving Thomas Frank a lot of praise at the start of the season.
I did remember that.
Yeah, they look like they're going in the right direction. See, when you change manager, you know, look at us. We're losing to Grimsby, even Spurs, because they started quite all right, Spurs, didn't they? And that just goes to show you, let it all play out and then make your decision, because he's getting booed every week. He's under equal to the next to go.
Yeah, and this is when it goes back to learning your lesson with these things, isn't it? Of going, right, okay, learn my lesson. That's why I learned my lesson with Ruben. Of going, right, see out the season. I'm not going to call for him to get sacked every single game because I'm screaming into the void. There's no point. I'm not going to do the outrage after every single match. That's why even I know you were really upset after the Wolves game, and everyone was, but I can't bring myself to do it anymore because it's just not going to change anything.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, we're a bit like where KG was like. He was like that towards the last season, and I remember having a go at him for that. So I apologize, KG, for that one.
Yeah. That's what it's about. Accountability. It's a year of accountability. Guys, we've got the Trinity later on. There is a press conference where we will obviously talk
We've got super
Ruben,
chats, Fleck.
Yeah, I'll get to those in a
Super
sec.
chats.
I'll get to those in a sec. Ruben will talk about, of course, hopefully we can get some players back from injury. Maybe Kobe and Delict. I don't know. How long has it been since Bruno's been injured? It feels like longer than it is, isn't it? Is it not? It's not. Because he did say something about Ruben. That's what something about he wants to train again. He wanted to play. Is that? But they're like, no, not yet. So is he actually closer than we think? Maybe because you know what Bruno's like recovery wise as well. We push it.
Right, Bruno's meant to, isn't he? Yeah, I still think it'd be a bit early. It's the alarming one is actually Kobe still, isn't it? Of like, oh, it's just a short one, and he still went back. So you know,
has it been 2 weeks?
Hopefully,
just 2 games. But is it been 2 weeks? When was Villa? Was that 2 weeks ago?
I wasn't that long ago. I'm kind of the same though. The time over the Christmas period and New Year's period gets so blurred. Yeah.
Had we read War Machines?
Yes, we read that one.
Right, so DJ, we start with DJ. Big gut to the brother DJ. Says that the way the league is set up at the moment is that Ruben is literally 3 wins from being semi-safe, and then the outlook looks completely different. If in that 5th, or dare I say 4th spot, because if he's cemented in 4th and 5th, where it's like we got a gap between 6th, 7th, 8th, where it's like 6-point gap, we're like comfortably in the top 4, top 5. It's like. It doesn't. That's just like you can't. That's in a period where you can't really say anything.
But I don't think. But what's funny with that is, I still don't think it would change the pressure on him. If we were like 4th place, comfortably 4th, would the detractors, myself included, be like, "Right, I've changed my mind completely on Ruben"?
No, because you just
probably not. Because it would still be like, not
shit
good
league,
enough. You know,
just that.
Yeah. It was, and also it needs to be to the end of the season. It needs to be much.
So we're talking about both sides of my mouth then, because then we're saying like, what do you want this season? I'll tell you what, we need to be in Europe. If you don't get Champions League, got to go. So if he proceeds to be in the Champions League spots for like most of it and then gets in it,
we did. This is football. This is football fandom in a nutshell, isn't it? I always say, Man United fans, we have no idea what we want because when we get it, we don't like it. So. Yeah, it's like if he finished, let's say he finished 4th, there would be, right, fair enough, can't sack him. But also there would still, I think the detractors would still be the detractors. I think they're kind of there regardless.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
they will be.
Aviad said Chelsea's squad was better for one game, Owen.
Is that what James said? He was, to be fair, he did say he said that was after the Bournemouth game. But it was after the Bournemouth game. He was referring to the players that played in the Bournemouth game. He did add that context last night. That's true.
Lil Yo says, Flex, you sure you wouldn't take proper Chelsea on UV? I had to tell KG, tell them people to get the hell out of here. I don't know what's going on over there with the delegates. I don't know what type of conversations have been happening, but to be opening up doors for Chelsea fans to be able to come over here. Like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They can get their head. Absolutely not. Not even a discussion. I couldn't even entertain that thought process. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And those guys should be ashamed themselves, whatever Chelsea fans are even trying to look at that. Your team is your team, bro. You lot have, got so many trophies and won it all under Abramovich, won the whole set. The only club to win all of it, all of this stuff, make your bed, you lay in it, stay with your team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not my fault you don't recognize your team anymore. Neither do I. Yeah. Don't see me wanting to go and join fucking Salford or whoever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what it is, mate. Weekend Getaway says, with the squad we have, Man United, which manager do you think will do better than 5th/4th? Yes, we are not playing well, but there is progress both in and out of the pitch. A lot of people saying that, like, who would have us higher than 5th? Well, again, you're getting into, if we were a bit more organised and a bit more consistent because we had a better manager, we easily could. We even with this, we could have been. We could have been
comfortably, if we.
Comfortably, but then it's could have, should have.
Yes, it's back to the hypotheticals, isn't it? Yeah. If we hadn't have, dropped points against Bournemouth, against West Ham, against Wolves, we'd be better now. But then it's, if we won every single game, we'd be top of the league this season. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, Ruben's not going anywhere. We'll see how the season plays out. Yeah.
There you go. It's that simple. Guys, press conference later on. We'll talk about it in the Trinity as well as all of this Maresca/Amorim stuff. So a lot to get into, as well as the transfer window as well. It's going to be a packed Trinity today.
What time's the Trinity, Frank?
4 p.m. 4 p.m. There you go. All right, people. Take care. We will see you then. Laters. Peace.